California Health and Fitness. What's going on, California? We are here with a great friend of mine, a man of many pants or many hats, however you want to say it, all over the place, nice and jet set like myself, so we get along just fine. Mr. Brian Cage, how are you today?
Hey, Zach.
What's up, buddy? It's nice to see you. I'm so happy that you're here.
Dude, I'm glad it worked out, man. I'm a busy man, never really home, and it just happened to happen. So
just happened to slide through town, and here we are. We got the Coliseum in the background.
You know, that's how we do it.
So we'll go one at a time, but I just want to introduce a nice spectrum of what you do. He's a professional wrestler, used to be in the WEW, right? WWE, yeah. And he's a professional bodybuilder. He's actually won the 2014 Fresno Classic, 2013?
2013 Fresno Classic, 2014 Chico, and 2014 NorCal Championship.
Were those overalls?
Yeah, all of them.
3 overalls. That's
boom, boom,
no
boom. Yeah.
joke. With a wrestling schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how many calories you burn in an average wrestling match?
I have no idea. Yeah. But even then, the traveling schedule to try to also prep all my meals and all my supplements and figure out what hotel and what gym I go to in every city. I mean, I've literally been in a different country, in a different city for 12 days straight, every single day, different spot. Like, oh, it's a nightmare. But
I think I'm like, you know, sometimes eating healthy and traveling all the time and not thinking that's a big deal. Like, I think that's a, you know, I'm proud of myself for doing that. I can't imagine keeping your level of body fat and your level of muscle.
Oh, man.
I've seen you deadlift, what, 565 after like 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah. I usually go hard, man, no matter what. Like, people are like, man, I'm so crazy how fast you can recover, you know, because I get injured a lot or wherever it may be. I'm like, it's not that I heal fast. I just do it, man. So
that's crazy. That's crazy. It's inspirational. I mean, you're not only a very driven person, but you're a lot of fun to be around. I mean, most of our friends, I can't tell you how many of them were super excited that I was going to have you on the show.
Oh, yeah?
You're just a goofy guy to be around, you know. It's
awesome. Well, I'm sure I can imagine a few that you're talking about, but
yeah. What's up, Matt? You know he's watching. So how long have you been competing for?
You know what? My first show was in 2012. I'd always wanted to do a show, but because I just live, you know, a healthy lifestyle 24/7. I'm always dieting, I'm always training for wrestling, and I always wanted to do a show, but I kind of was like, like, you know, stepped around it. Like, oh, what if I have to get booked that weekend, whatever. 2011, I suffered a bad injury in my shoulder, and I was out of the gym for like almost a year. I was in terrible looking shape, and as soon as I could get trained or start training again, I got remotivated. I was like, you know what? I'm going to finally just, you know, pull the plug and do a show, and I fell in love with it, and so I've been competing ever since then.
Super cool. Super cool. Now, how long were you wrestling before that?
Geez, well, it's been like 10, 11 years I've been wrestling, so, I mean, 2015, so I mean, at least, you know, 7 years, I think, beforehand.
Wow, what got you into wrestling?
That's all I ever wanted to do since I was 10 years old.
That's
I mean,
so cool.
I was a fan of it since I was 5, but like at 10, I'm like, no, I want to do this. Like, not just as a, you know, that'd be fun as a kid. Like, no, this is all I want to do. I want to be a superhero. I want to be a wrestler. And the superhero was kind of a little more unrealistic, so I went the wrestling route.
You know, you get portrayed as Wolverine, or as what do they call you, Swolverine?
Yep, yeah,
I'm pretty sure you are.
Yeah.
That's his nickname. I'm pretty sure you are a superhero here in the Central Valley. You know?
Yeah, you know, in some people's eyes, sure, I'm sure.
And it's different when you can actually walk up to, you know, someone you look up to or a good friend and have a conversation with them, share a laugh, things like that.
Yeah.
I think that's super important to be receptive to your fans.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But people are always putting over how humble I still am, how easygoing I am, and I think too, like the image as well. You know, with the faux hawk and the muscle, especially if I'm in all intense in the gym. People like get misconceptions that I'm a, you know, that I'm a jerk or whatever. Like, oh, this guy's cocky and arrogant, and I don't want to talk to him. And then when they talk to me, like you said, they realize how much of a goofball of a big kid I am.
Right, and I mean, I'm going to refer, like, when I say that, I think of a specific memory. You know, I'm just this goofy 19, 20-year-old fat kid walking to the gym, and then I had known you for, I don't know, probably a year or two. I'd been working in Max Muscle with Matt by then. And this guy has the 120-pound dumbbells in his hands, and you're just staring at it. He's all pumped up. He just drops them and walks over and gives you a handshake and a hug. Like, who else does that, you know? They're all just super pumped, veined. 300, 400 pounds of just pure muscle. I mean, that's something I think is pretty cool. We have a lot of wrestling fans here in the Central Valley, so I definitely think it's, you know, important that you share your story, your success, what it took for you to get here, because a lot of people give up when something happens. I can't imagine how many roadblocks there were on the way to
you know what,
becoming a professional wrestler.
To throw out there too, with I'm sponsored by 5% Nutrition, and everybody always goes, well, what's 5% mean? And it's not just bodybuilding-esque or like, you know, even just fitness. It's basically just a mindset, because everybody in the world has a as a desire, a goal, a dream, to strive to do something, to achieve something, whatever that may be. But only 5% actually do whatever it takes to make it happen. Whereas the other 95% are so afraid of failing, when really the only way to fail is to not try at all.
Super
so
cool.
And that kind of that's kind of fits the motive. I mean, really you gotta put a lot of sacrifice, a lot of commitment. Not only for me to become a wrestler, but I mean any sort of sports or entertainment or any sort of industry. I mean, even if you're trying to be doctor or lawyer, I mean it's gonna be a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hardship, a lot of debt, a lot of stuff that you're gonna have to pave the way. But that's gonna make your success that much greater when it happens, and it's gonna separate the people who say they want it, the people who actually want it. So
yeah. So how much do you weigh?
Right now, just shy of 250.
Just shy of 250.
I've been cutting down actually for another show. I was going to do Miami Nationals, but I just got pulled off of that show due to Lucha Underground, the TV series I'm filming for.
So you do choose wrestling over bodybuilding?
Well, that one I'm contractually obligated, and they try to work around my schedule because I've been prepping for it. But they're like, "Oh, you're going to be heavily featured that week, and we need you." So, as a backup plan, I'm doing actually back down in your country. The Tournament of Champions in San Diego on December 5th.
December 5th?
Yeah,
awesome.
so I'll do
Is
that
on TV or internet or anything?
That one, no, that's for the bodybuilding show, so that one won't be on TV. But the Lucha Underground stuff that I'm doing will be, yes.
Well, cool. We'll make sure we get some videos to post on our YouTube of that, because that would be awesome to show our viewers. I know after today we did an event at Howard Elementary School, so it's very important to me, and we promoted a lot of the students watch this, so they get to see their local heroes, and they also get to see what employment, what's available to you here in the Central Valley.
Sure.
So how can we, let's say there's a kid really wants to wrestle. How can we, without having to take too much of your own time, how can we kind of steer them in the right direction? Or even if we had a handful of those kids, what can we do to get them to the next step?
I mean, realistically, whether it's I go back to this too, whether it's want to be a wrestler or whatever it wants to be, fireman, whatever. I mean, really, it's just about having the passion, desire to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. Obviously, too, depending on what it is, you have to make smart choices with it, and also with education.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually gotten to go through some school stuff too, through my notoriety, through some of the TV stuff, through like Texas and whatnot, and do like anti-bullying speeches, and educational stuff, and stay in school, which is cool and neat. And you get to interact with all these kids, who may not know you, but then like look up like, oh, Austin does give me cool advice, or they do know you, and you're like all larger than life, like superstar to you, and you're like, I'm just a wrestler, kid. It's
right.
But it's awesome to have that connection with a fan that like looks up to you like you're somebody special to them. When I take it for granted, I feel like I'm nobody. And
people like us that are kind of like goofy and outside the box, and really don't care about conformity, I think we're attracted to those kids as well. So we place ourselves around kids like that and do whatever we can, whether you're in a bad mood or tired or not, just to give them that smile, give them that extra push in the right direction.
For sure. But to go back to your question as far as specs, if you want to be a wrestler, the best thing to do about that is, you could join a local wrestling team, whether it be in a club or school, because I myself didn't do it until later, which I regret, because amateur wrestling does help out tremendously. Obviously, to stay in school, also have that backup plan. A lot of people give up on it and kind of fall into like a broken dream, you know what I mean? Then they get stuck left doing nothing. I always say, like, you don't want too much backup plan, because I feel like if you have to focus too much on a plan B, it's almost like that becomes your plan A. But you got to be smart about it. And then just follow your dream, and don't let anybody tell you different, because the only one that can stop you from achieving your goal is you. So I had tons of naysayers, including like really close friends and family, that thought it would never happen for me, and I just used that to motivate me to prove everybody wrong, and now everybody's super stoked for me.
Crazy what a positive attitude will do.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy what a positive attitude will do, because going back to all the roadblocks that you've had to accomplish getting to where you are. I know you've had a torn tricep, a torn bicep, correct?
Oh, it's so many injuries. And that's not even talking about like the mental aspect of just like, I have a son too, and like I've been having to relocate temporarily for certain spots and land in Florida, and being out of my son's life for up to like 6 months, and then not to mention I'm always going all the weekends. So when people have weddings and birthdays and special events, like, oh Brian, for this, or family functions or friend functions, like.
Sorry, and people don't understand, I've been in that situation before. When you're showing up to a wedding and you got your chicken and you're to a T with your food.
Oh, yeah.
He'll show up to a wedding with a piece of cake in front of him and throw it off the table and get his chicken and rice out before.
So many times I go to restaurants for birthdays, and I'm always like, oh, here it is. Like, really? I'm like,
what am I going to say to you, though? Look at you. I know Greg always tells super funny stories. He was a guest on our very first episode of California Health and Fitness, and he always references the story of you guys, like, I don't know if you were about to be on TV or about to do something, you just drop everything. And
it's time when I say
When it's time,
it's time. Like,
nope. You could be in the middle of a game of Monopoly or Jenga, and it could be falling, and
it doesn't matter.
Get up and
it's
cook,
time.
right?
It's 3 o'clock. I gotta go, man. It's time to eat. Yeah.
I think that's a good piece of advice to give to people, though. When it's time to eat, eat. Your blood sugar drops.
I mean, it's just like whatever you can do, man. Do it 110%. Like, you know what I mean. If you're gonna freaking go half-heartedly committed to it, then you're gonna get half-hearted committed results. So, I mean, whatever it is, like I said, it doesn't have to be just fitness driven. I mean, whatever it is, just do it to a T, do it with passion. I mean, then as well, if you love what you do, then as you would say, you never work a day in your life, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, dude, that's super cool. We got a little bit more time. I know you got to get out of here pretty soon. Where can we find you? I know you do a lot of contest prep, and you're a coach for bodybuilding. You even do a little wrestling coaching on the side, right?
Yeah. I mean, depending on people's level, sure. Yeah.
Right.
I work with some. I'm getting more and more picky just because I'm so busy.
Of
with
course.
my own schedule. But I mean, I got. You can find me on Instagram at Brian Cage, Twitter at Mr. GMSI_BCage, Facebook Brian Cage Button. All those outlets are great, and people contact me for any of those sources, whether it be booking or bodybuilding prep or wrestling prep or whatever it may be.
Even just networking.
Oh, I mean, and I don't even really have to anymore. Now it's just like everybody's coming to find me, which is nice.
There's not many of that people like yourself in the Central Valley that you really could invite to your business to be part of a grand opening where we actually have someone, a local hero here to meet and greet and sign autographs. You're a huge asset for a company to be able to do that. So.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you very much. And actually, speaking of localness, I was never wrestle. I don't even wrestle in Cali that much anymore. Especially, I never wrestle locally. But I got a show on a Thursday here, November 12th, in Fresno.
Oh, November 12th.
It's over on the Fig Garden Loop. I should know the exact address, but I know it's 7 o'clock. But yeah, no, I'm excited. It's me and a guy named Davey Richards, one of the all-time greats in the independents. It's like a little indie dream match. So I'm stoked. It's people always go, "Oh, I'd love to see you wrestle." And, I'm always wrestling in Mexico or across the country, but I'll be in town here.
So you guys, that's November 12th, and if you actually go to our Facebook or Instagram in the next week, I'm going to post a flyer of that wrestling match. If you repost it, I'll give you a set of free tickets, okay?
Boom.
And you can come hang out with us and watch the big guy wrestle. I can't express my gratitude enough for Brian. Again, he's a super busy guy. He's in a different state, different country, different event every weekend. So just stopping by and hanging out with us, Brian, means so much.
Hey, no problem,
Thanks
man.
for being part of California.
Yeah,
Fitness, okay?
I was stoked I was able to, and hopefully do it again.
Yeah, we'll check back in with you after your match, okay? Good luck.
Cool.
You guys,
Thanks.
California Health and Fitness coming back with a beautiful clothing brand called Clean Fabrics. Thank you.
For all your life insurance needs, Central Valley Talk recommends our good friend Clint Cartridge. Give Clint a call at 559-478-0425.
Get a gray water recycling system for only $3,595. That's a 10% discount available only through Central Valley Talk. Reserve yours now for only $150. Your deposit is refundable and applies towards your purchase. Easy